This is so neurodivergent, I love it. I need to read as much of this as possible today, for reasons that are threefold. Reason one, another heatwave is about to hit the fucking country. This one is going to be a week long and it's going to be record breaking. And I just know that that's a week gone. I'm not going to have energy for anything that week, so recording is not really going to be viable, I don't think. I can maybe try it once or twice when the worst of it is past, but I'll be sweltering. It's already getting a bit warm, so I gotta try and get a couple sessions stored away in preparation for that. Reason number two, an update comes out for Civilization 7, and I want to play it when it comes out. And reason number three, fucking Deltarune Chapter 5 comes out. June! On Thursday, which as of time of recording is 5 days away. It's actually Wednesday, but yeah, it's the 24th, so holy shit, it's Wednesday. So yeah, I will be playing that. That's going to take my full attention until it's done. Won't be recording it, unfortunately. That's a personal playthrough for me. But what that means is, if I can get 2 sessions of this recorded today, we should be fine and golden. I won't have to worry about it. I'll have to do some editing, obviously, but that'll be fine. I can do that. I'm also admittedly just super curious as well. Like, about Mion and Shion. I have to be completely honest. The more I'm thinking about this, the more I suspect that my comically confident bet that they were 2 separate physical people, probably not really right. With Shion supposedly living out of town, apparently, according to both herself and Mion, if that were true, it doesn't feel like she would come all the way to Hinamizawa to drop off a bento box. It's entirely possible that Mion called her if they were 2 separate people and told her about what had happened today, but the impression I get from Mion is that they really don't speak much. So I can't really believe that's the case. So I have to assume that they're the same, that they exist, you know, it's the same physical, physical form. I'm starting to wonder if this is a DID thing or not, but we're still in the early information gathering stages, so I get to just sit back and chill and watch and enjoy as more information comes to light. Just get microphone sorted. I was lent too far back last time for a bit of it, and it was not good. So I'm going to do my best to stay close to the mic. This time. Well, let's continue. We had just finished chapter 3. Probably, like, you know, moment for moment, probably the least cursed chapter so far, but in the same way that having 1 rib broken is less painful than having 2 or 3 ribs broken. I can only hope. I'm still enjoying my time playing this, I have to make that clear. Even if the silly sort of fan service jokes have gone up a little bit, I'm still having fun. And I also knew what I was getting into. Well, I mean, no I didn't, but, you know. I had a hunch that it'd be like this. Anyway. I might have explained this before, but phys ed at our school is really just an exercise in disorder. After some random warm-ups, the rest of the time is spent doing whatever. You're free to cause a ruckus or just fall asleep. I'm not really sure, but doesn't the Board of Education have some sort of curriculum for this? Something like, when you're this old, you should have this amount of physical ability? I have no idea what you're saying, Keiichi-san. It's rather difficult to understand. Well, you see, it's something like a rule for teachers to follow during class. Ah ha ha ha. Maybe you weakling city folk need something like that. But do you really think us country-raised kids would lag behind in physical ability? We're better athletes than you would think, Keiichi. I guess that's a point. You get your, you get it from learned experience. You know, you learn by doing as opposed to by learning. I kind of prefer the idea of that kind of PE, to be honest with you. Compared to having to fucking play rugby. Fucking rugby. I was good at cricket. I was terrible at badminton, but at least that was a game that wasn't teams-based, so I was only letting myself down. Come to think of it, they might be right. If we all lined up for a race, there's a good chance I'd finish dead last if I didn't start off so well. Hey, this is a step up from the first episode, or the first chapter, when you were like, I, as a guy, am probably naturally stronger than these girls. It's like, no, that's not necessarily true. Let's just pray that when a brutal penalty game is at stake, the 100-metre dash isn't a club activity. On that note, I watched too much television, so I'm fantastically tired. I'll be using this time to catch up on my sleep. It's 4th period and I'm completely starved. I don't sleep now, when will I ever? As I began to sprawl out on top of a pipe, Mion grabbed me by the collar. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Yeah, you thought you were getting out of it. You thought you were getting out of it that easily. There's not a moment of rest, ever. Do you really think I'd let you sleep in peace and quiet? With that look on your face, it'd require more courage to try and take a nap than not. God grief. Which means, is it going to start again? Now! Just killing time with idle chit-chat until the bell rings is impossible for us hot-blooded youth, isn't it? Shall we start a club activity? Ugh, just as I thought, it's come to this. What's today's game? Now that this is happening, taking a nap is impossible. Not just that. With this sleep-deprived head of mine, I'm as good as mincemeat. To get my brain into gear. Hey, it's the assumption that you will fail that has screwed you over in the past. You have to manifest your victory. You have to simply assume that you will find a way to win. Please don't involve the fucking younger kids though. I can't deal with them this time. I don't want to. You can't make me. Rena thinks that we should decide what today's penalty game should be before we start. Rena knows what's up. I've prepared something super special today. She began to announce the cruel penalty game with a grand spinning flourish. But before she could do that... I'm sorry. I have something that I wanted to do. Of all people, it was Rika-chan announcing her non-participation. Even rare events do eventually occur. Losing her timing, Mion spun like a top as she tumbled to the ground. What? Huh? What's the matter? Are you not feeling well? Oh, that's right. Mi-chan, she has to practice for the Watanagashi. That's right. It's this Sunday. Oh shit, it's soon. It's very soon. We started on Sunday. Assuming we've been doing a day at a time, it's now like Wednesday. We're getting close. Intriguing. Rika is in the middle of super serious training right now. I've been working too hard lately, so my arms hurt. I see. Well, there's nothing that can be done. There's no point in doing anything if we can't get everyone together. Just wait until you're adults. You will try your best to abandon that line of thinking, because everyone being available is fucking impossible. It just doesn't happen. you're gonna have to start learning to settle for hangouts with like 2 people, 3 people at the group. Today, let's just take it easy. I'm very sorry, but I'll try my best. Yeah, it's also interesting that, and you know, it's understandable considering what we think we know about Mion, but us just being tired and wanting to rest, no chance, that's no excuse, but the Watanagashi kind of supersedes everything. It's very important. Yeah, good luck. We'll be cheering you on. When Mion announced that today's club activity was cancelled, Rika-chan and Satoko headed off behind the school building. Only I was left alone, completely clueless as to what everyone was talking about. What was that about? Is Rika-chan training for a competition or something? Rika-chan is a shrine maiden for the Watanagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance. It's practice for that. Why don't you explain things in order? First of all, what is this Watanagashi? Next, what do you mean by shrine maiden? Last, what do you mean by ritual dance? Huh? Didn't you get a notice at your house, Kei-chan? Wasn't it written there? The Watanagashi festival is this Sunday. Huh? Come to think of it, I had a feeling Mum did say something about it during dinner the other day. The Watanagashi is a festival that happens at the shrine on a Sunday every June. It's very lively. I see. But Watanagashi sounds like a pretty strange name for it. Is it something like the Lantern Festival, where they have a memorial for the dead by floating things down the river? Oh, I figured you might guess right, Kei-chan. The Watanagashi, or Cotton Drift Festival, is, as the name implies, where we set cotton adrift down the river. The cotton, you see, is from futons or jackets. So it'd be something like a futon memorial? They also pile futons up on the altar. I've heard of people leaving offerings of things like needles or kitchen knives to their ancestors or the casualties of war. But an offering of futons is a first for me. What's the history behind that? Do we get to learn more about the history? Because we know this stuff already. Mion tilted her head pensively. I don't think there's a complicated backstory to it. The winters around here are pretty harsh, so things like warm futons and coats to warm off the cold are fairly important, I guess. Oh, I see. In other words, it's something like giving thanks to the futons that took care of you during the winter, then. Then the Shrine Maiden holds a memorial service for them and sets them adrift. That's what the Watanagashi is? Mion and Rena indicate that I had the correct answer with a round of applause. Yay! Gosh. I'm glad we've had a refresher. I kind of remembered all this, but it is good to get a refresher. I do hope that maybe we'll learn a bit more as well, though. I do remember in, like, the bonus thing from the end of the first chapter, there was an indication that we'd be learning a bit more history this time. And you see, that shrine maiden performing the memorial is Rika-chan. Oh? So Rika-chan is a shrine maiden. Now that you mention it, Rika-chan does have a mystical air about her. That's what I've been saying this whole time. I'm always saying that Rika's got a mystical air about her. Right. Rika-chan in a shrine maiden outfit. Ah. So cute. It certainly does seem like it would suit her. Yeah, it might be cute. I finally get what you're saying. Rika-chan's training is for her performance as a shrine maiden, then. That would be it. Shrine maiden has to purify a number of futons as part of the ceremony. It's practice for that. It's a lot of hard work. The shrine maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as part of the rite, and it's really heavy for Rika-chan. Well, Rika-chan is pretty small. Exactly how heavy is that hoe? It's pretty heavy. Enough that Rika-chan has been practicing with a mochi mallet. Wait a minute. That's way too heavy. Forget about Rika-chan, that'd be rough even for me. It's a sacred ceremonial hoe. If she dropped it by accident, it'd be big trouble. Well, it's a once-a-year kind of deal. All we can do is cheer from the sidelines. Again though, that's so much fucking pressure. For like a small child to take on. There's nobody else who can do it. I mean, I suppose not. A lot of the guardians that Rika lived with, I mean, I don't know if they were all of her guardians, but she lost 2 guardians in like the span of a few days. One of them to an illness and one of them to having gone missing. Is there, like, I mean, I guess maybe there's not anyone else. Huh. That's a fucking rough deal. It'll be okay. She pulled it off last year. Really? Then the least I can do is cheer her on. Even something that little would help, right? I was rather curious about exactly how she practiced. Mion laughed as she shook her head. Leave her alone. If you go, Rika-chan will get all cute and won't be able to practice. Hmm? I didn't quite understand what Mion was saying. Rika-chan will get all cute and won't be able to practice. If we go and watch. You see, Rika-chan doesn't like showing people how hard she works. Okay? So just leave her be. I see, right. So if people were to go and watch her practice, she'd kind of stop and not demonstrate. Okay. Even the always cool and aloof Rika-chan has times when she sweats while giving it her all. Because she was always so well put together. She didn't want people to see an ungainly side of her. It's not like I couldn't understand that feeling. All I can do is pray for her success, huh? Do your best. Rika Furude. I'm cheering for you. Well then. I climbed up onto the pipe and plopped down on my side. Hooray, hooray, Rika-chan! In order to transmit more of my psychic waves of encouragement, I'll be entering a meditative state now. Honkshu. Excellent. Excellently done, Kei-chan. You got your sleep after all. So you're just gonna sleep after all? Oh, we're not getting our sleep. Oh, we are. I don't know. It's hard to tell. The lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to mind-numbing afternoon classes. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition. I might have gorged myself a bit too much. I'll have to endure afternoon classes. Ha 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 ha! Keiichi-kun, you had an amazing appetite today. Basically, you always eat like a pig. But today was on a whole different level. Yesterday I skipped lunch, right? That hunger just soaked right in. This time, no matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds. You have a tapeworm. Ah ha ha, I get you, I get you. But really, Kei-chan, you always finish your lunch down to the last bite. Oh god, I'm jealous. I wish I could finish my meals and not just get stuffed about 2/3 of the way through. No appetite at all. Maybe if I had more of an appetite, I'd be more confident in the kitchen. Or maybe if I was more confident in the kitchen, I'd have more of an appetite. Mysteries upon mysteries, truly. Heck, even down to the last grain of rice. With food, you show your appreciation for the person who made it by eating it, you know. If you leave any behind, it's rude to the person who put in all that effort. Hearing that, Mion's eyes momentarily widened in surprise, followed by a cool laugh. Kei-chan, really? At first glance you seem unruly and irresponsible, but you're actually pretty conscientious. Well disciplined or something like that. Ah, yeah. Rena thinks so too. Katie-kun is a lot kinder than he looks. Both of them were probably trying to compliment me, but I had a strange feeling I wasn't being complimented at all. That's not true. I just wanted to say that there's a big gap between your appearance and your personality. Gaps between appearance and personality. Why do I feel like that's important? I don't know. Now and again, a line just sticks out at me. And it might be nothing, but, like, that one did. And I'm saying that's not a compliment. Hey. Sonozaki-san. My Barakun. We're in the middle of class. How did you get, Sonozaki-san? Bring your notes up here. Startled. Mion vocalized a rather easy-to-understand utterance. She was so enthralled in the conversation, she had stopped working completely. Doing alright. You haven't progressed at all. You're in the highest grade, so you have to shape up. That Mion, it looks like she's getting lectured. Oh, bastard. Appearances can be deceiving, in other words. Actually, appearance might be the opposite of reality. I feel like that's the conclusion I reached at some point towards the end of Chapter 1. You say some interesting things. Responding to Rena's seemingly profound statement, I turned my gaze to where Satoko was happily studying together with Rika-chan. Are you saying that brat Satoko is actually really meek? If I went by what Rena literally said, then that would be the case. I could hardly imagine Satoko being meek and gentle, like a girl in some fairy tale. Satoko-chan's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different. Interesting. She acted really spoiled and always... Yup. Keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay? She's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different. She acted really spoiled. So she was... more rude? Or more spoiled, at least. Huh. Is this before everything happened? I mean, before Satoshi left, maybe? That's Satoko acting so cute? For Satoko to play coy, I would think that would have to be some part of some calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I would think it was because she was attached to them. But since it came up, I tried to imagine a gentle and... I'm not reading that. I tried to imagine a gentle Satoko. Don't do this to me. Hey, Satoko. What? What is it? Only... Satoko smiled cutely and walked towards me. By the way, for every 3 steps forward Satoko took, for some reason I took 3 steps away. Why are you running away? Sorry, Satoko. For you to approach me with an affectionate smile on your face, I just have to think it's some sort of trap. That's so mean. You meanie. And now she's crying. We made her cry in our imagination. Sorry, I didn't intend to be so mean. The weeping Satoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Click. Plank. Huh? A bear trap? My leg was being clamped down on by jagged metal teeth. Oh, can't wait for that to actually happen. I'm guessing like chapter 3 or maybe 6. You fell for it. Now for the next part. Satoko raised her right arm triumphantly, and traps began to trigger one after the other. Suddenly, the wall sprang forward, throwing me 3 blocks away. And there I saw a giant metal ball covered in spikes hurtling towards me. On top of that, in the direction the ball would knock me, was a giant guillotine. I'm not really sure, but... Ichi-kun, you're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you? She really can read us like a fucking book. Not really. Not at all. That's a lie. You've got the kind of look on your face that says, I'm going to be crushed by a giant spiked metal ball. How could my expression convey what I was thinking like that? I can't tell where the jokes end and the genuine, like, are these people mind readers begins. Sorry. Imagining a meek and gentle Satoko is impossible right now. I'll try again when I'm in better shape. Next, I looked over at Rika-chan, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. You can imagine, like, rebellious, like... punk Rika. In contrast to Satoko, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came at me saying Goni-sama, I'd hug her. Tightly. Keiichi-kun, you're drooling. You fucking weirdo, Keiichi-kun. What the fuck, Keiichi-kun? Why are you like this? I'm going to chase you with a hatchet, Keiichi-kun. Sorry. Then how about Rika-chan? Are you saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Was Rika-chan really all sweet? I mean, at the very least, we know that there's an element of this to Rena. I think she's a nice person at heart, but there's definitely some complexity to her that kind of contradicts the vibe she gives off. But Rika-chan, was Rika-chan really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she really was quite sly. Sweetly, how do you put it, evading things deftly? I get the feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet. Her appearance is definitely deceiving. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I remember at the very start, when I was first starting chapter 1, I was like, is Rika secretly evil? I wasn't actually to that extent, but it was that kind of mindset. Now, though, it's like, I definitely think there's more to her. But that's a given. But I don't think that more to her is necessarily that she has some secret, like, malicious or dangerous side to her. I might be wrong on that, but... I'm also like, it would follow the pattern, because Rena has that. Mion certainly seems to have that, considering she was willing to, like, talk about killing, Oishi. Huh. Here's a thought, just like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. If it turns out that Mion and Shion are like... If it turns out that Shion is like an alter of Mion, then I have to wonder, did she appear at any point in chapter 1? The most sort of suspect moment would probably be that moment when we just confronted her and we turned back around and she was like, her fists were clenched, she was smiling and looking at the floor. It was like it was a completely different side of Mion that we had never seen before. And she was talking about how she wanted to kill Oishi-san. Not Oishi-san, that's not the correct honorific, I don't think, sorry. But, Oishi. She should have killed Oishi, and that she wanted to. Imagine if that was Shion. It would certainly make me a bit more nervous around Shion, but we have no evidence to suggest that it was, so I'm not going to be nervous around Shion unless I'm given reason to be. You know? But anyway, we get the feeling that Rika isn't only just sweet, her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put what I was imagining into words, but Rena managed to say what I wanted to. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that. When Rika-chan grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty, with men wrapped all around her little finger. It's ironic to call a shrine maiden devilish. Don't you think that would be cool? Rena said that lightheartedly, but I, as a man, couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about that was that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika-chan turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. See, angelic, not devilish. Both Rena and I, feeling as if that was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat. Oh, so cute, so cute. We're up to 9. It turns out I was 1 short on the count. I've been editing the counter in. It's good to know that that's not going away anytime soon. We got a 9th one now. Can we get to 10? Can we hit the double digits this time? But yeah, Rena, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving, huh? Well then, what about our dear leader Mion? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Rena's theory, that unrefined, calculating, conniving Mion also had a side of her that belied appearances. Gee, I wonder if we've come across that at all recently. Then what you're saying is that Mion, despite her appearance, is actually a good person? Oh my god, that's brutal. Holy shit. Mi-chan is a good person. Oh, well, that is true. But what I'm trying to say is... Yup, I know what you're trying to say, Keiichi-kun. Catching on that I was struggling to express my feelings as words, Rena smiled even more brightly. Know what? Mi-chan is mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's right. Mion was more than aware that she was a girl, but it was exactly as Rena said. When Mion livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or a girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender. Huh. Interesting. She does like to call herself this old man. Lots to think about there, and nothing that I can confidently say. If she were a guy, we'd probably be like 2 peas in a pod. Although, that's the same way it is right now. But you see, even that Mi-chan is actually really feminine. Rena, how much did Mion pay you exactly? That's not true. Jeez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? Rena began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Mi-chan is the club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody. But she's really a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun. Rena's gaze focused off into the distance, beyond where Mion was. Yeah, here we go. Now we get into it. The Mion that I met at Angel Mort was unimaginably different compared to the Mion that I normally knew. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job, it was a far cry from the brash and confident Mion. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went through all the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation. And she did so not as Mion, but as Shion. What exactly was Shion to Mion? What kind of person was Mion exactly? Keiichi-kun probably couldn't even begin to imagine. Begin to imagine! As if to say it was our little secret, Rena held her fingers up to her lips as she giggled. Mion, finally free from the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment. Hey, we never got on to talking about Rena, interestingly. Oh, Keiichi, I suppose. I guess this means Keiichi has some alternate side to himself. Maybe some kind of a feminist who isn't weird sometimes, and isn't that bothered about food. This old man, you see, thinks that grade school is enough for everything you need to study for in life. Saying that, she plopped down into her seat violently. Mion was actually really feminine. Right. I wonder if I can meet Shion again. I wanted to talk to her again. Clang, clang. The principal waved around the bell that served as the school chime. The teacher rushed back to the blackboard and began to list everyone's homework assignments. Whoa, it looks like there's going to be a lot of homework today. Gotta buckle down. Well then, that means even Rena? Huh? What do you mean? Appearances can be deceiving. Shit. Oh shit, here we fucking go. Would that apply to you too? Huh? Keiichi-kun, how do you see me? How? How? The Rena Ryugu that I knew sometimes took things too far, but was generally a kind and gentle, ideal girl. Really? Really? Then that makes me happy, I guess. If she was the opposite of what she seemed, then that would make her... And if you were really the opposite? Just try saying it. I won't be mad. That's what I felt like she meant. Rena is... Rena is... Even if you were the opposite, you'd still be Rena, right? This question shouldn't have been so nerve-wracking to answer. Maybe it was because the person in question was staring at me, but... even saying that took a strange amount of effort. Something's really wrong. Separate from the curse, separate from everything. There's something not quite right. That's no fair, Keiichi-kun. It bothers me when you say it that way. Oh. Perhaps unable to endure my silence, Rena's face began to burn red with embarrassment. Rena! Kei-chan! Let's go home. Mion walked over and started getting ready to go home. Whenever school is over, she really does get noticeably more energetic. It was the same relaxing walk home as always. Digging around my pockets on a whim, I noticed something that should have been there was missing. What's the matter, Kei-chan? The key to my house I always carry around is gone. Oh, man, where did I lose it? Fine today since my parents are home, but still, this is bad. Shit. Wait, hold on a minute. Right, okay, thinking. What's happened with us recently? We took a nap in the schoolyard, I guess. Someone could have swiped it then, but we were in our PE kit, so that wouldn't make sense. Obviously there was the class, but we were mostly just with Rena, and we kind of had a read on her for most of it. Everyone else was busy during class. I don't know exactly what Keiichi's schedule is in the morning. Would he have lost it today? When would he have had it last? Maybe Shion took it yesterday. I mean, he also could have just dropped it. It's interesting that I've immediately jumped to him being pickpocketed, but I'm just always suspicious that there is trouble afoot, you know? The key to my house I always carry around is gone. Where did I lose it? It's fine today since my parents are home, but still, this is bad. That sure is troublesome. Did you forget it somewhere? Or did you drop it? Which one was it? Did I take it with me this morning in the first place? Huh? Huh. Interesting. We're cottoning on to the fact that we may not have even taken it this morning. I'm going to be deeply, deeply concerned if not long after I theorized that Shion might possibly be a little bit intense. There's an indication that she may have swiped our key. I really hope we're not doing a secret evil alter personality thing. I'll deal with it if we are, but that's... bleh. I mean, it was like the early to mid-2000s when this game came out, so I guess it wasn't at the point yet when it was tired and inaccurate, but... you know. Bleh. Hey Chan, did that key have anything that would make it stand out? We know it does. It has like a little, I can't remember what it's called now, but I know we've talked about it in the first chapter. Yeah, it's on a keychain. It was a blue fur seal, something I made for summer homework a long time ago. There we go, yeah, blue fur seal. Huh. Does it have its eyes shut like it's taking a nap? Oh, how did you know? Yeah, that's it. Mion looked away and began to whistle. See. You went for dinner at Angel Mart a couple days ago, right? That night, the staff found a key, and there was a fur seal keychain attached to it. As she said that, she suddenly grew flustered and added that Shion had told her about it. Huh? So I dropped it then? But aren't you glad they found it? I'm sure they're looking after it for you. That's right. Why don't you go? Shion looks the same as me, so you'll know her by sight. Why would Shion not have dropped it off yesterday? When she came by? This was a rather unexpected development. Once again, I had no choice but to go and meet with Shion. But I also had to thank her for the bento from yesterday. Besides, taking some time and chatting with this other side of Mion might be interesting. Half jokingly, I began to think about things like this. Right. Angel Mart, was it? I'll head over to Shion's restaurant and get my key back. While I'm at it, having a nice spot of tea might not be a bad idea. You sound like an English gentleman. That totally doesn't suit you, Kei-chan. Is this the restaurant? The one that Mi-chan's little sister is working at? Yeah, why don't we go together, Rena? Sorry to disappoint you, but I have plans with my father today. Some other time. Rena seemed pretty disappointed about having to miss such a great opportunity. That's a shame. That would have been great. You said they're twins, but do they really look that much alike? Enough to mistake which is which? Yeah, they're totally the same. At least on the outside. Unlike Mion, she's well-mannered and really cute though. In response to my teasing, Mion pouted and began to argue with me. I couldn't help but burst out laughing at Mion's little face. Farce. After all, they weren't just identical, they were the same person.